That's right, Peter. I'm you, and you're me, and this is a gun.
So like you're on YouTube and you're like scrolling through, internets or whatever, and you've got this ad on your screen, and it's for this film or this like product or something, and you're looking into it, and you're like, wait a minute, that was my idea. Hey, remember how I told you about that idea I had? And your friend's like, no. Like, it makes me want to start like writing down everything I've ever thought of, everything I ever ideated, just so I can have proof. Like, I thought of this first. I had this one idea I eventually turned into a tabletop campaign storyline idea where it was like a superhero themed, and one of the characters goes like, can see the future or go into the future or something like that, and they see like just the city, the world is just in ruins. And so they're in the present and they're like, okay, we've got to do something, because we see the future, it's bad, we got to do something. And so they assemble the heroes and they try to stop the bad future from happening. And I'm like, whoa, pretty cool idea, right? And then they come out with Umbrella Academy, as if there's not some agent out there with whoever company makes that show, with a virus in my computer sending them all my good ideas that I have written on my notepad. Anyways, the point is, I didn't publicize any of that, so now I have to publicize my next great ideas, my next great, like, my prophecies here. So, first prophecy, there's gonna be a next, like, Among Us style game where it's, like, super big and everyone kind of catches on to it and they play in these big streamer parties, except for it's not gonna be like a Town of Salem, Hunt the Imposter, kind of inspired thing. Instead, this is going to be inspired by custom game mode on like Valve servers known as Jailbreak, where you've got a bunch of prisoners and just a few guards and the warden, and then they have to do these little mini games in order to stay on good terms with the warden. If they don't, they get they get killed. I don't know. It sounds dark when it's not a bunch of Team Fortress 2 characters exploding and stuff, but it's funny. Anyways, that's gonna happen in like 2 years, I'm gonna say. Also happening within 4 years. Marvel DC film. Calling it. Wolverine's gonna save Batman, and then Spider-Man's gonna meet up with Green Lantern, and they're gonna do some. I don't know exactly. I don't have the details on this one, but just know it's gonna happen. But by far my biggest prophecy, the thing I absolutely see coming, is It Takes 3. What's It Takes 3 going to be all about? Well, I'm glad you asked me. So May and Cody end up deciding to stay together. Things aren't perfect, but they're working on things, and it's mostly gotten better. But this takes place like 10 or so years down the line. Maybe slightly less, maybe like 7, 8. Anyways, the whole thing is the daughter, who I have realized in the middle of recording I have no idea what the name is. It's Rose. I started Googling it, but then I remembered it. It's Rose. I think. Let me double check. It is Rose. See, I knew it. Boom. First prophecy fulfilled. So Rose is a teenager now, and the whole thing is she's just like very like angsty. The stereotypical teenager, times 3, because everything has to be, dramatized and, kind of exaggerated for people to get the point. So she's, doing the typical thing where she's kind of pulling away from the parents. The parents are just trying to relate to her, but also, steer her on the right path, but also they can't really do that without infringing on who she is and her ability to make her own decisions. But of course, Rose can't really make her own decisions because she's a teenager and you're still learning stuff, Anyways, so it's played with 3 players now. One of you is actually playing as the bratty emo teenager Rose, and you go through all these mini games, and Cody's and May's kind of abilities are kind of going to work together more seamlessly this time. I guess they worked pretty seamlessly before, but like, those super obvious puzzles, that's going to be what it's going to be more about, where it's just like one of them on one end, one of them on the other, and then, things kind of happen in the level, except for this time Rose is going to be like in the middle, actually having to navigate through what they kind of prepare for her. Do you see the metaphor? Do you see the extended, do you see the figurative themes going on here? The parents paving the way? The kid going through the obstacles? Yes, you see it now. So picture like the trapeze part, where it's like, okay, May and Cody are trying to get the ball from one of them to the other, except for this time the ball is Rose, controlled by someone. The divorce book is going to be back, but the author of the divorce book also wrote one on like raising kids or teenagers or whatever, And so, like, you're still gonna get the same personality, but he's gonna look different. He's gonna be purple. I might be wrong on some of these parts, but the book will 100% be purple. I have money on the line that he will be purple. We'll probably have a little, like, pen friend. And that'll be tied to some achievement-based things where you write in the book with the pen for the things that you found. It's gonna be more of a collectathon than previously. Anyways, it's also gonna flash back to, like, themes of the previous game. Like, instead of there being just, like, a daughter roaming around the house, they're gonna have a dog. So it's just gonna, every once in a while, you're gonna break away from the narrative and it's gonna show the dog doing something in the house. Nothing important. He's just being a dog. Look at him. A little dog. Here's a picture of my dog. Oh. The final boss ends up being Rose herself. And it's not until the players realize that they have to kind of let each other win at certain boss phases that they're actually able to finish that boss fight. And that's how it all kind of comes together. My next big idea is they're going to start adding battle passes to chess.